Do you feel like you've hit a ceiling when it comes to your SEO writing projects? There is quite a lot of stuff that I feel like goes into this that doesn't get talked about that much. So we're going to talk about some of it today. There's a whole bunch of things, but we're going to talk about some of it today. I want to make sure my mic is on. Sometimes I turn this on and I don't turn my mic on like a fool. So here we go. We're going to talk about some stuff. When we're talking about our SEO writing projects, we're also thinking about the wide variety that there are available. So let's do this as number one. So our number one thing here, this isn't a ranking, this is just like how we're gonna lay it all out. So our number one thing here is that our SEO stuff can be really helpful for certain projects. And a lot of times what I end up getting is freelance writers who come to me and they're like, oh, well, I saw that I have to rank on the first page and I have to do all this SEO stuff. And, all my clients care about is all this SEO stuff. And people forget, and I think this is really easy to forget when your clients are focusing on it, quite extensively, is that SEO a lot of times is top of funnel content. It's something where you're doing a lot of blog posts or articles. When you're doing more complex projects like white papers or case studies, or content strategy or SEO strategy, or you're doing email drip campaigns, SEO is like very, especially for email, SEO is like not a thing. I think that's something that just gets lost in the mix. I think a lot of times what ends up happening is we're so focused on my client said they need to rank and I have to do all this stuff for SEO, and that it only applies to a very small percentage of the projects that we do as a freelance writer. Like, I don't think I've ever gotten a case study project or a white paper project or an email drip campaign or anything like that where it's like the sole thing is like doing all this SEO stuff and like paying attention to getting on the first page. Like, that's not the thing, right? Usually when you're doing these bigger projects, you're ending up middle of the funnel, right? So you're kind of getting these types of content that are designed to get more subscribers, leads, and sales. So that is more like getting people either through a paywall, getting them to share their email address. They're already on the website, right? Like, these are things where you're driving a different part of the curiosity to working with that client, right? So yes, even if we do this for articles, and we will, obviously, if you're an SEO strategist, you do it. But for content strategy, sometimes you don't do it at all, right? Like, sometimes you don't submit a list of keywords to focus on or little SEO things. I think that a lot of times it's just this initial startup when, especially when a lot of writers leave platforms, they're very much like used to seeing profiles on the platform that say things like SEO first page and like get these SEO articles, because that's kind of like the factory farm thing, right? So a long time ago, more than 10 years ago, everybody started like realizing that these, blogs were a way to get traffic, and starting a blog was a good way, and doing blog posts regularly helped with all this stuff. So then that became the focus of SEO. And we all know that SEO is, the robots change all the time. And even there's like a new thing from Neil Patel that he was putting out about how Google is going to change search results a bunch with AI. So SEO will change drastically again. But I think a lot of times it's very easy to look through profiles on all of these writer platforms or freelancing platforms and think that's all clients want. And it's like SEO articles, I've done this thing. Like, that is just a very small subset of our work. So I think when you're thinking about these writing projects and SEO, you have to remember how small that is, like how small a subset that is. And most writers get to this point. I've seen this with a lot of my students, whether they're Wealth Lab students or Runway students, who are just like, I'm tired of doing blog posts and articles. I want to work on bigger projects, right? And it's this natural progression. You kind of start out with, sorry, you kind of start out with, these certain types of projects. And you start out with these, like these kind of get on the hamster wheel and repeat the process projects, which is a lot of SEO, right? Like, if you're writing a lot of articles that have to do with increasing search rankings or helping with them getting found for certain things, like that is a repetitive process. Like, you get a brief, you write the article, you edit it, you turn it in, it gets published, blah, blah, blah. Or you end up having to do a little SEO research. But I think this just kind of is this sticking point where a lot of writers realize how much that affects their earning potential. They get on the hamster wheel of SEO articles, or they get on the hamster wheel of blog posts, and then they forget there's all these other types of content that have nothing to do with SEO, and it does hold their income back. This is the plateau. This is where people get stuck from 30 to 50K. I've seen it all the time. I had the same problem. So when you get stuck at this certain income level, you start kind of, needing to reanalyze your business and look at a bunch of different things. And I think this is just something where people, when they see regular work, like they would for, if they're writing a lot of these kind of blog post projects, they're not understanding that that's kind of holding them back. So if you've been doing a lot of SEO projects, not strategy, SEO strategy pays really well. But if you're doing a bunch of blog posts and articles and SEO type, like it has to rank or put in this thing or whatever, those can be holding you back. Those can be keeping you, like, yes, it's a nice flow of work, but you have to get out of that comfort zone. You have to move to the next level where you're working on projects where you're think of it this way. You are attracting and talking to a more educated audience. And that means the audience is more educated on the client that you're working for, their platform or service, or they're more educated on how that thing will help their business or why that thing's important. SEO is just like getting them in the door, right? These articles are just like getting them in the door, brand awareness, web traffic, ranking, kind of, that's why it's top of funnel. We're kind of like increasing, like, hey, we do this thing, check us out. The middle of funnel and bottom of funnel is about having people who already interacted with that interact with deeper content that changes the way they view the company at a different level, right? A case study or a white paper is way different. It's a way different content marketing tool than a blog post. So I think we just kind of skip these things, and they do affect your earning potential. I think that that's something that also gets skipped. Is I will talk to writers who have done blog posts for 10 years. And it's not that they're, not happy with the work. It's kind of, they're just like, this is boring. I've done this enough, right? I've gotten in the reps. I've done all these. What the interwebs, I forgot it's Friday. Welcome, Vicky. We're always happy you're here. I know it's like right before the holiday weekend. So I expect a lot of people to be like, nighttime right now, like asleep and not they're kind of like in vacation mode. So in any case, I like what the interwebs. Vicky, we might have to TM that because I think that's a funny phrase. So anyways, when we're thinking about this stuff, I think you should pay attention to the hierarchy of projects, how they work in the content marketing and client/audience funnel. Like, this is a really important thing about getting to the next level in your work, is actually understanding how they work, right? This is something that I go over with my Wealth Lab students, with my breakthrough community, is like, how does content work? It's not just a matter of getting it done. It's understanding how it works in the marketing funnel. How would someone read different pieces of content and then make a decision to buy something, invest in something, get a sales call, something like that? So these are things that I think SEO projects are a good way to kind of get in. But if you're someone who's coming off the platforms, any of the freelancing platforms, that is just such a small, repeatable type of work that a lot of people do as how fast can I get this done, right? How fast can I get this done and make a bunch of money doing that? Okay, let's talk about two. Let's talk about number two here. So when we are, when we're kind of doing these things, so let's talk about the hierarchy of projects here. I think something that gets missed a lot is how you get to SEO strategy, or how you're kind of moving through these blog posts and then getting to different projects in the hierarchy of projects. Albert says, I never did SEO work. From what you're saying, it sounds like the human version of AI or chat GPT. No offense. It's not. It's very different. SEO work is a very different beast than AI or chat GPT. And SEO is in a lot of different things that we do. It's mostly like putting keywords in your article or understanding what people search for and then having that in your article. But if you're doing a good job writing your work, you should naturally already have terms, questions, all kinds of stuff in there. So it's very different. It's a very different beast than AI and chat GPT. It's not robot-y if you're doing it right. And it does help a lot with some people's content strategy for sure. So when we're talking about this hierarchy of projects, base level is these articles, right? Articles and blog posts, base level, kind of repetitive work that we can do. You'll get a content brief, or someone will share keywords, or It's Vicky says it can be that bad if you get a cheapo client. That is true. If you have a really red flag client, there's a long time ago. So like 10 years ago when I started, keyword stuffing was a big thing. So like they were like, you need to use this keyword as many times as you can in the article. That was terrible. Now it's a lot different because people realize you can't keyword stuff and you can't do all this stuff. So yes, if you have a red flag client or like a red light client, yes, it can be pretty bad. But I'm talking about like the general atmosphere isn't like keyword stuffing anymore. It's evolved past like do this thing as many times as you can. So when we're thinking about this, SEO blog posts are the bottom. Then you're kind of moving into like maybe reported articles, maybe thought leadership, maybe, SEO isn't as important as other pieces in there like research or quotes or, like I said, becoming a thought leader. Then your next step is probably like your case studies, your white papers, your guides, anything in kind of the middle of funnel that someone would either need to pay for or share an email address, or maybe they would be searching through your website and they would get to the next step. So you have your case studies, your white papers, your guides. The drip campaigns are after that. So our drip campaigns, our email stuff would be someone subscribes and we either give them a 2 to 3 or 4 to 5 email welcome sequence saying like, here's some stuff you need to know. Thanks for subscribing. And then there's also like this phase that you can do with weekly emails, which is kind of your newsletter. You can also do drip campaigns for sales. You can do drip campaigns for drumming up work. You can do drip campaigns for a lot of different things, for getting people to sign up for something. So that would be our next step. And then we're kind of getting into like the content strategy kind of SEO strategy land, where if you are doing SEO strategy, obviously it's all SEO, but content strategy, you don't even have to touch SEO sometimes. Sometimes you do. It's probably a good idea to do a little bit of education with your clients when it comes to content strategy. But then kind of like it gets to like these other points where as you kind of like move up, you're doing less and less of it because that's not the overarching thing. The overarching thing isn't pleasing the robots, because as you go up this hierarchy of projects, you're really warming up and keying into specific things with that potential client, right? With that person who's reading the article or reading the piece of content, or the strategy is like laying out the plan, right? So you are laying out the plan for things to work. You're moving further and further away from a keyboard typer and more of like, let me give you some ideas and some strategy and a roadmap kind of person. So when we're kind of looking at all of these types of projects, it really matters. This is something that I feel like when people get stuck in like doing articles over and over and over again, all types of articles, they're missing out on these projects that they can leverage those same skills at, get paid more, and they're more fun. Like there's a lot more nuance to them. And it's not this like fit everything into 800 words. It's like we need to kind of hit these specific types of ideas. This is a case study about this. This is why it's important. And really kind of adding some human elements into it. It's more about like, I think for me, it was a richer audience experience. That was something that was really attractive to me. Instead of worrying so much about the SEO robots finding my article on Google, we actually got to talk to the people who are going to buy the product, service, what subscription, whatever it is, or who are going to subscribe. That's a really powerful moment. Like that's like why we create content, is to connect with other humans, right? To tell stories, to have them understand how something can help them. We're not using these as like typical gross marketing where we're like, buy now, do this thing, you need it. We're using this as like, here's kind of what someone like you has had success, or here's why this platform is unique, or here's some ideas or some things that could help you improve your business. Our platform is one of them. And then people can make their own choice, right? We're giving them the information and we're giving them to that at a specific cadence with some humanizing elements to connect with them, to have them understand like this thing is for you. Like I know, you have questions, but I know, this thing is for you. And that I think that's a really important piece to understand with these projects. As we're kind of moving through, you get to content strategy, you get to SEO strategy, like you're doing these things. SEO strategy obviously is a little bit different because it's about SEO. But there's a lot of times where we have to kind of move through these to increase our earning potential, to get out of the hamster wheel, to get away from feast and famine, and to not so much focus on like these robot-y things. Eventually you realize that like a lot of the content being created is for actual people. We're not so much focusing on like ChatGPT and AI and SEO keywords and like pleasing the robots. I think this is something that we just have to get over that hump. There's a lot of early freelance writers, and I'm saying early as like they either just got started or they're early in their career that they haven't gotten over this hump, who just keep thinking this is the only thing that's available because that's all they see on a platform or that's what they see in job ads, which is not where you find clients. And they kind of lose hope. But there's lots and lots of content being created by lots and lots of different types of companies. And it can span all different types of stuff. You could do landing pages, you could do press releases, you can do an entire website, you can do a lot of web copy, you can do different types of copywriting projects. Like there's a lot of stuff that's out there for us. And I think that that gets lost a lot of times when there's a lot of pressure put on SEO or like a lot of coverage on SEO as it used to be, right? SEO before, now everybody's obsessed with AI and ChatGPT. Vicky has a question. Vicky says, should I leave SEO or a particular kind of SEO software out of my profile or skills to avoid attracting clients who don't prioritize human writing first? This is a great question. I think you should. I think you should, because here's the thing. I've seen several profiles from writers where they literally just say like they will do stuff that's like that's just part of your job. Like there's a lot of times where someone will have their profile talk about SEO or talk about prioritizing these things. And what ends up happening is like you just come off as saying like, I just do my job. Like it doesn't actually bring the client in. It doesn't talk about their pain points. It doesn't talk about how that thing will solve their, I've been having hiccups. I don't know why. Maybe I'm swallowing a lot of air. Anyways, it's not talking about how that impacts them. We're not looking to make our profiles and our websites about like, I do SEO, I'm going to use phrase.io and I'm going to use ClearScope to get your stuff to rank. Like that's not the goal. The goal of our content is to explain like how that all of the types of content that we offer, right? The 10 different types of projects we offer help solve our clients' pain points, right? And this is something I go over with Wealth Lab students a lot and with Runway students a lot, is just because, and Vicky was in Runway, so this is a good question. It's just like, we don't want to come off as like a profile that someone can just like swipe through, right? Like on a platform where they're all like SEO writing. We want to talk about the types of writing that we do, how we're solving our clients' pain points, how that content impacts their audience, right? How it gets them the things that they want, how it helps them reach their goals. And that I think is more powerful than talking about SEO and talking about the types of software. We don't want to know about the process. Like I think that's something that gets sucked into this SEO thing, is when a lot of writers write a LinkedIn profile, or they end up doing their website, they think it's about like, let me tell them all the things I will put into their SEO stuff, into the soup to make it SEO worthy. Like I use this tool and I do this process. That's all about you. That has nothing to do with how the audience responds to the content. That has nothing to do with solving your client's pain points. It has nothing to do with helping your client reach their goals, right? So I'm in the camp of, we don't even need to say human first writing. I think that's a little like, you're supposed to do that. That's your job. That's your job. And I think when you start saying SEO versus human first, I think that's the trap. I think that's part of the trap of saying like, getting clients who are like in that low level. We want clients who are like, oh, this writer understands why I'm creating this type of content to do XYZ. So what that means is this writer understands that in my niche, whatever, like just an example, like this writer is a prop tech writer who understands that we need case studies because that helps our audience see themselves using the product. They see someone exactly like them who had success. These case studies help us increase our leads, and eventually that leads to sales. We're connecting all of those things. That's kind of the like speaking the same language as your high quality clients. We don't want to be speaking the language of like, let me tell you all the tools and I do this and I do that and like I'm putting this process together. We're talking about reaching their goals, and we're talking about like A content gets you B results. And we're not talking about like B results as in like first page on Google. We're talking about B results, like I just said, like leads, sales, subscribers, likes, clicks, shares, um, getting to like better ROI, putting a roadmap plan in place so that you know exactly what types of content to publish because it falls in these parts of the funnel, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of different things that I think just end up, hey, Flower Power, welcome. Yes, tackle those end of the week emails. I do that a lot too. Like I'll put on something like a TV show or some kind of thing on my computer to listen to, and I'll just like kick out a bunch of my emails. So, Vicky, I think that your job is to switch over. Your job is to switch over talking about here are like this is the format I like for LinkedIn and websites told, that's a different conversation, but LinkedIn is like ask a couple questions that you know are things that your client struggles with. Like, do you struggle with connecting your, highly technical product in an easy to understand way for your audience? Something, I don't know, I'm just making it up. Do a couple questions that you think would be a struggle with either content itself, like creating the content, writing the content, or the process, or where people miss the mark. Then you're going to go into like things that happen when you work together. When we work together, I have this amount of experience. I'm in these niches. When we work together, XYZ happens, right? You get all of those results that you like. And here's the types of projects that I do. And when we do these things, here's what your audience will do. Here's all the good stuff and skills I'm bringing to the table in conjunction with how that affects you, my client. Then you can add some testimonials. But this kind of format is about it's meeting your high quality client at the level that they think. They're thinking like, I want this content to do this thing. I want this content to blah, blah, blah with my audience to perform in this way. And I know why I'm creating it, how I'm creating it. And I'm looking for someone who gets it, someone in my niche who understands my audience, not who understands how to please the robots or the human first stuff. Like, I just feel like for me, that's very obvious. Like your writing should be human first. Like that's just like, they're the people with the credit card, right? Like the humans are the ones who are going to do something. The robots are an enigma that's always changing. It's the same example I talk about all the time. I was doing research for an article. This was, I don't know, sometime this year or last year. I can't remember. But I was doing research for an article and I Googled something to do some, some recon. And the first Google result was an article from 1997. Okay. This thing is like, whatever that is, almost 25 years old, 26 years old. So this article is super old, but it's still the first result on Google. And that's from humans. That's not from SEO. That's not from robots. That's not from someone fluffing up that 1997 article to make it rank first. That's because that thing is the most complete and best thing that a lot of humans find really useful. That I think is the stuff that, okay, I just deleted those from my profile. So Vicky, look through your stuff, connect A to B. Connect you to the outcome that your clients want. Connect working with you and working on these types of content to what your clients need. We want to be on that same, like we're singing the same tune, basically. I think that's really important. And like I said, like keep that example in your mind. Like I was doing research and the first thing that came up was an article from 1997. And this was a well-known topic. This wasn't a topic that was like, there's a ton of archaic information on it. This is like a very popular topic that I was working on. First thing, 1997 article, and it was the original. It wasn't built for SEO. And that's another example, I think, too, of when I say you're doing your work right, that SEO stuff should be natural. You should naturally be saying those things. There's many, many times where I've gotten a brief or I've gotten a spreadsheet of keywords or like a do this thing, put this thing here. And it's like obvious. Those things should already be terms that you're using. They should already be questions that you're asking. They should already be phrases that should naturally be in that article on that topic. This is another thing that I think comes down to writing quality. A lot of times, like this is something that people, I think writers miss, is like, I have the thesaurus open all the time. I've been writing for 10 years. I have the thesaurus open all the time, especially when I'm editing. And people think I just pull it out of my butt. They're just like, they think that I just have like this ever-ending, stream of synonyms or different types of word choices to use just because I've been writing for 10 years. It's not true. It's not true. We all need to have these kind of references. What ends up happening with SEO stuff is people forget there's like 10 different words for the same thing. That's very easy to do SEO, right? Because different people are going to search different words. So if you're using the thesaurus, you're upping your writing quality, and you're using different word choices, and you're using different phrasing, and you're kind of moving someone through the piece, and you're kind of describing something in different ways and kind of leading them through transitions. All of that stuff should be very natural. Every once in a while, there'll be like a weird term or a weird something that you're like, okay, I have to figure out how to put this in. But like I said, like this, think of it as like thesaurusizing what people are doing in their searches. And like, this is a natural thing. Like, we need to have different types of word choices. We need to pick different things that describe something. There's a lot of repetitiveness sometimes that happens because people put these keywords in their articles and they forget to kind of write the article naturally and kind of use different word choices and all that stuff. And it just becomes this like, it just becomes very like robotic feeling and very off. So like, write your thing naturally in the, use this thesaurus, use different types of questions, use different phrases, like really give it your piece a richness. When you do that, it's very easy to do this keyword stuff because it's all in there naturally, right? We're not just going to repeat like the same term over and over again. That would make for very boring reading. Think of different terms for that. Use the thesaurus. So I think that's kind of an important piece that goes in those layers. Okay. I already kind of covered a bunch of things in 2. Let's talk about 3. I know this is I feel like this is like really long. Okay, let's talk about 3. And Charlie's not even up here. Charlie's downstairs. So we don't even have a pup date right now. She'll probably be up here. Now that I said that, I'm sure she'll come up here. I might have just heard her. So let's talk about 3. So when we're talking about our tiers and our pricing, so obviously as we're going through, if you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you want to learn more about building a high earning freelance writing business and or a freelance writing business you love, subscribe. Yeah, use a thesaurus. Yeah, that's the thing is like people think that the longer you're a writer, the less you need like a tool like a thesaurus. They think you just store it all, and you don't. In order to like train yourself to learn new words and to explain things in a different and unique way, and to really create great writing, you need tools. You need a thesaurus. Okay, let's talk about 3. So we're talking about pricing and we're talking about knowledge and effort. So I gave you the tiers of projects. That's a general list of tiers. As you go up the tiers, you need more knowledge and experience. I think that's kind of, a given. I think it's a given. Albert says, Thesaurus Park, now playing. That's so funny. You know what? And then all the dinosaurs can have like little book heads, or like they can be shaped like books. That would be amazing. Okay, get on topic. When we're doing this pricing should increase, right? SEO articles, that kind of stuff is like kind of your lowest tier of project. Then when you go to reported articles and thought leadership, that should be higher. Case studies, white papers, guides, downloadables, higher. Then when you're getting into email drip campaigns, landing pages, anything else, that would be higher. And then SEO strategy, content strategy, all that stuff, that would be your highest. So if you want to, I have all of those things in my pricing guide. If you haven't grabbed my free pricing guide, grab it. mandyellis.com/pricing guide. All of these projects are listed in there. So I'm not going to go over this like extensive thing in here, but you should know that the more complicated something becomes, or the more effort you need, or the more knowledge and experience you need to complete that thing, you need to charge more money. So as we're kind of going through here, we also need to make sure that we are kind of mix and matching these things. This is how we kind of work with our income potential. We can leverage the stuff that we've done, blog posts, SEO stuff, all that stuff, to get other types of articles. What we're using to leverage is skills and experience and knowledge and expertise, right? We are talking about how we've learned a lot of things about writing in this niche because you've written a bunch of posts, or we're talking about the interview skills that we developed in order to do case studies, right? A lot of journalists are really good at case studies and white papers because it's the same skill set. There's a lot of things to consider when we're moving our income and business forward that are like meeting your client at that level. I don't know why I'm so hiccupy today. We're kind of getting away from these repetitive SEO projects or these kind of like do 4 blog posts a month for the rest of your life projects and getting to, oh, we've got our squeegee here. You want to let her in? Oh, thank you. All right. Thank you. Hi, Minnie. Welcome. Hi, Scoob. Did someone force you to come up here? So you're moving up the tiers from these repetitive projects to meeting the audience kind of where they're at projects. So you're getting to this place where you are more addressing the audience at a deeper level rather than just like, how do we get people to participate, you know, with our clicking the button on Google kind of stuff. I forgot to hook up the pup date cam. Charlie, how are you doing today? Are you having a great day? Were you outside? Did someone bug you? Hold on. Hold on, pup dater. All right. Let's see if it's working. Hold on. Pretty close. All right, Charlie. There we go. Pretty close. Hi, Charlie. You look so cute. Can you give me some high fives? Oh, good girl. Can you give me the other one? Good girl. Good job. Oh, we lost you. There you are. It's because you laid down. Well, a little pup date on Charlie. Charlie is going in next week for her dental. So we've talked about this before. Charlie busted her tooth. We're not exactly how she did it, but she likes a lot of hard toys, so that can do it. But her tooth was turning gray, and we had her into the vet, and they said that her tooth is dying, so she needs to go in to have it removed, and then also just have a dental to clean all of her little toofers. And so she's going to be going in next week. Here you go, Bean. Good girl. She's going to be going in next week to get that all solved. So the next time that we'll be back, so we're not going to have a live stream next Friday or the Friday after. I'd taken some time off. But the next time everybody sees Charlie, can you show him belly? Can you show him belly? She will have one less tooth or maybe less teeth than one. Can you show him your belly? Can you show him belly? Can you show him belly? Oh, you're so close. So she'll have less teeth, but she'll be equally as beautiful, right, Charlotte? You're like, I'm the best looking dog in the whole world. You are the best looking dog in the whole world. Good girl. All right, so we did our pup date. Okay, back to the things that we're talking about. So it does, when you're kind of thinking about these things, as you go up the tier of projects, think about it as like deeper audience knowledge and deeper audience connection. As you're kind of going through these things, you are meeting your audience at different phases than just kind of like, please, for the love of God, come to our website and like click some buttons. We're kind of getting into this, like these people already kind of know us, they like us. Maybe they need to like us some more, or they need to get to a trusting point before they buy something or invest in something or become part of our club. Yeah? You want to be part of the club? Is that why you wagged? Did you want to be part of the club? Yes. Can you show him belly? Can you show him belly? We're so close. Can you show him belly? 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 Oh, you're so close. She doesn't want to roll off the pet bed. That's what it is. She doesn't want to roll off of there. Okay. As we're kind of going through, we kind of want to make sure that we are adjusting pricing, but that you're also getting this deeper knowledge. So you should be able to leverage different parts of it and understand that it's not just moving into a case study just to get a case study. It's also meeting someone at a different level. It's like your coffee meeting is your SEO stuff. That's like you meet someone, then like you guys get on kind of like a once a month lunch date, and that might be a case study, right? Like you're kind of meeting them regularly, you kind of know them some more, you're kind of moving them up the thing. Maybe an email drip campaign is kind of the same thing. It's a welcome sequence. Hey, let's meet a few times, let's hang out. Or you could have like a welcome, an email drip campaign or a landing page or something that drives someone to click a button and buy something, right? And then your strategy, and whether that's content strategy or SEO strategy, is like, how do we actually get a roadmap in place to get all these people in the same room? How do we kind of hold like a conference for everybody to kind of like get on the same page in a way? So I think that these things, when we understand the flow of how we're moving our business forward and we're understanding the flow of these projects and how it changes your earning potential, how like this thing where I like I said, like a lot of times I get emails where people are like, well, what do I do about like SEO? It's like, that's only one phase of your project. That's only like a small subset of your projects. There's so many other projects, right? That SEO is not the main focus. And SEO strategy would be that you are setting a roadmap and a plan, right? That's a very different ball game than writing content, right? So we want to kind of remember, especially if you're getting off the platforms, and especially if you are someone who's been kind of trapped in the hamster wheel of SEO content, there's a lot of other ways to meet your audience. There's a lot of other ways and other clients who are interested in working on these deeper level projects. And I think that it just becomes, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of writers get to a place where they're like bored of doing a bunch of blog posts. Like you do it for so long, right? You do it for multiple years and you have ongoing work and you have all this stuff. And then you get to a place where you're like, I want to do anything but this. Is there anything else I can do? So I think when we're making that transition, realize that we just have to meet our client at a different level and that you are, can you do the high fives? Good girl. And that you are leveraging different types of skills, and that SEO will be likely parts of different things, but it's not going to be as heavy-handed as something as doing blog posts or like a regular string of articles. So what do you think about that? What would you like to say? You look so small. You look so small in the corner over there. What happened, Charlie? Charlie, what happened? You look so sad. You want some snacks? All right. Good girl. You look so cute today. Charlotte got a new neck wallet, if you guys haven't noticed. This is her new neck wallet here. So you can see like she has like a little, well, maybe not now, but she has like a little packet, like a little black Velcro thing on her neck. See it? It says Dapper Dog. So instead of her having tags, we put all of her tags in there so that they don't hit her ears, and so she's more comfy. So she seems to really like it. She seems to be pretty happy about it. What do you think? Yeah? You're happy about it? She's like, I'm just here for the snacks and the pets and the loving. Thank you. Thank you. What a dainty little hamster. She's like, more snacks. Feed me more snacks. So I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that this has kind of helped you see that as you're kind of moving through the different types of writing. Oops, sorry, Bean. Sorry, Bean. As you're moving through different types of writing projects, you can go back to your hobble hole. Good girl. Ready? Oh, goodness gracious. As you move through these writing projects, it's going to change how you're looking at SEO. It's going to change kind of how you're doing your work. It's going to change your approach with clients and with your audience. And it's going to pull on different types of skill sets rather than just like put these things in an article, right? So I think this is a really good thing to remember. There's a lot of different things that we get to do. Not all of them have to do with SEO. Not all of them are like rank on the first page of Google. And I do think that there's this, as long as we kind of know what's available to us, what kinds of projects are there, what types of things clients are interested in, that really helps us expand our income potential. I think that's really important. Yeah? Do you think that too? I like your interested ears. You're so funny with your little interested ears on. Oh, Minnie, we are like we're missing today. Ready? Oh, so close. So close. Okay, so that's kind of all the stuff I wanted to make sure I covered, and I hope this was helpful. So, a couple of things. We're not going to be doing the live stream for the next 2 Fridays because I'm going to take some time off. We're just ending our spring session. Yeah, our spring session of the Wealth Lab. So I'm going to take some time off. There is going to be a special Runway pricing that comes up in August. So if you would like to be part of Runway, get my pricing guide. You'll be the first ones to know about Runway. Runway is like my 5-day live class that I run. So for 5 days, I have a 1 hour, like it's about an hour every single day, Monday through Friday. And we have like a little community and a place to ask questions. Runway is always available. So you can always go and get it, but it gets special pricing at certain times of the year. So if you want to be the first one to hear about Runway stuff, go get my pricing guide, mandyellis.com/pricing guide. And if you wanted to check out Runway right now, you can go to mandyellis.com/runway and check it out. Runway is going to go right before the fall session of Freelance Writer Wealth Lab. Yeah. So cool stuff there. I will see you guys I'll see you in 3 weeks. So 3 Fridays from now. Happy Midsummer to you too, Vicky. I'm glad that you, I'm glad that we're finally, here in Austin, we're finally getting out of this super hot streak. It's been like over 100 degrees. It's been like 105. And there's like a day coming up where it's going to be 80, which I'm very excited about. So I hope everybody has a good holiday weekend. If you're going to do something for the holiday or you just get to take some time off, I hope everybody, enjoys the next few weeks, and I'll see you then. Charlie says that she hopes you guys give all your dogs lots of pets and hugs and treats and snuggles. And she's like, please send me some more. You want some more? All right, hold on. Good job. Good girl. All right, so I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. We're here. We'll be back at noon Central Time, and hope everybody has a good weekend. Bye.